All right, we are here for your NBA Power Rankings. This is a podcast called I Still Believe in Cleveland. So we will see where the Cavs end up here in these power rankings. But let's keep it interesting. Eric, how about you kick us off here with your fifth best team in the NBA?
Well, it's an early season, but I'm going to start off with the Boston Celtics, the defending Eastern Conference champions. 4-2. They have the interim coach. I don't know how long that's going to go, but at least for this year. Besides the loss to the Cavaliers, they did get defeated pretty sizably by the Bulls by 18. However, they have still a fantastic roster with Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, all averaging over 13 points per game. I expect them to pick up some wins over Dallas, Detroit, and Sacramento in the coming weeks to kind of increase their record. So I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics.
All right, Drew, we reset and you give us your fifth team.
Yeah, I just real quick, I do have an honorable mention. Mine is the Celtics. I have real concerns over this. This is not my number five team. I just want to address the fact this team does not appear in my power rankings right now, despite winning the Eastern Conference. I get there's going to be some pushback there, but this team took a 19-point lead and turned it into a 16-point deficit versus Chicago. The reason they were the best team in the conference last year was the elite level defense that they played. I have not seen any evidence of that coming back since losing that coach. So I have them out as first team out, honorable mention here. We'll see if that comes back to bite me tomorrow. But my number five team is the Philadelphia 76ers. These rankings are in part based on what teams can be when they're playing their game to the level that they can play it. And I think when the Sixers are playing their game, they're one of the best teams in basketball. This is a team that has Embiid, Maxey, Harden. This is a team that any one of those guys is capable of scoring 40 points. All of them have scored 30 points in games this year. That's really hard to defend against. They've had 5 games on the road to start out 3-4. They just won last night to get to 4-4. This is after an 0-3 start. This team has started to turn it on. I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of the way. I have the Sixers number five.
All right, Eric, let's go back to you here. Who do you got at number four?
You got your Cleveland Cavaliers, 5-1 record, largely playing without Darius Garland outside of a few minutes in the opener. Donovan Mitchell and add another player have been playing well each game. One time it was Caris LeVert. Last game was Kevin Love. But yeah, they've been carrying this team right now, and I hope Garland's gonna actually put his name with this team in the coming games and is going to help, kind of solidify that backcourt and not be too reliant on Donovan Mitchell. They do have Boston and Milwaukee in November. So it's going to be some good tests coming up. The other teams that they face within the month are teams that they should handle. But if Garland comes back the way we expected, I expect a lot of wins and a very good record for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, let's go back to Drew. Cavs at four. Who do you
Heck
have at
no, it's
four?
too early for the Cavs. They're one of our top 3 teams. Number four, I have the Golden State Warriors. This is a team that I love to hate. I wanted to find a way to work this team into third so I could make a 3-1 joke, but they haven't been that team this year. This is a team that had bad losses to the Hornets and Pistons. I have them here based entirely on what they have shown, sort of like a lifetime resume, a lifetime achievement award up to this point. I get they haven't looked very good this year, but they have played 5 road games of their first 7, a couple of those on back-to-backs. So they've had a bit of a tough schedule here going started in the season. This is a championship caliber roster, as much as it pains me to say that. I think this team's going to be fine, but we certainly haven't seen it yet. They get this spot based on what they've done in past seasons versus what they've shown thus far this week.
All right, Eric, let's go back to you here. Number three.
Number 3, well, I guess I would say Golden State would be my honorable mention. I guess they have a slapper's chance or a puncher's chance, depending on how you want to ask Draymond Green, but we won't go to that part. So, but number 3, I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns. The 5-1 record, a lot's been made out of their former, I guess, owner now. I don't know how this is working. He's suspended. He might sell the team. Robert Sarver, but the team continues to play very well on the court. Devin Booker's averaging over 30 points per game, and there's a handful of guys averaging 10 to 15 points. Chris Paul's doing his job, and I think they're excelling and they're going to do well throughout the season.
All right, Drew, let's switch back to you here. Who do you have at number 3?
In the top 3, one of the top 3 teams in all of basketball, I have our Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a team that has played excellent. This is a team that had one very glaring weakness last year: the inability to get a bucket when they needed it. They didn't have that offensive talent. They didn't have a superstar, and they went out and got one. This is a team that went out and acquired a superstar to put together and round out what is an excellent roster. This is a team that's 5-1 without one of their best players, their point guard Darius Garland. This is the only team in basketball that ranks in the top 5 on both ends of the floor, offensively, defensively. They can stop you. They can score. This is an awesome team. This is a great team to watch. I'm so excited for this season. Big home game against Boston coming up tomorrow. After that, it's a 5-game road trip. 4 of those games out in California. I think we'll really get a chance to see, some early indicators of, how good this team can be. Hoping we get Garland back to that road trip.
It's been an exciting start to the season here. All right, let's round out the top 5 here. Eric, let's jump back to you. Who do you have at number 2?
I'm gonna go with the Blazers, 5-1 record. They defeated the Suns, who was my number 3 team, a week and a half ago. They do have, ironically, back-to-back games against the Suns, Friday and Saturday this weekend. So we're gonna know how both teams evolve. Dame Lillard's pretty much been doing what he's been doing his whole career, averaging 31 points per game, as well as they have guys pretty much at each position who can, create offense at their roles. Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Jusuf Nurkic, I think I'm pronouncing that right, at center. So I mean, they have guys at every spot who have ability to score. They're looking like a tremendous team in the West. So it's very early, but they're playing great team basketball. So I'm going to take the Blazers at number 2.
Blazers, new team here. Drew, who do you have at number 2?
Yeah, I just need to see more from the Blazers before I have them in here. They're not going to be in my ratings at all until I have a larger sample size. I'm going with the Suns here at number 2, 5-1. This is a team that blew out the Warriors a week ago. This is a team that's playing without DeAndre Ayton for most of the games thus far. He's been hurt. He is going to be back here fairly soon. I don't know if they'll ever get Jay Crowder back. I don't know if he'll ever come back and end his little holdout disagreement thing that he has. But if he does, that's an excellent additional big man, a good stretch 4, a good 6-man type who can come in and play, wing. He can come in and play power forward. This is a good squad. And I know that they have their struggles in the playoffs. I'm not going to take that away from them, but we're not talking playoffs right now. We're talking about, where do you see these teams right now? I have them as the second best team in basketball.
All right, that's number 1. I don't know if there will be a surprise here, but Eric, how about you, number 1 team?
Well, it shouldn't be a surprise. They're undefeated. They are the Milwaukee Bucks. They have not played a murderer's row right now, as of a schedule is concerned, but they are undefeated, and they did demoralize the Nets, especially in the second half of that contest last week. It's hard not to be impressed with Giannis, although he seems to be doing this every game, every season. 33.8 points per game, 12.8 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists per game. Drew Holiday, Brooke Lopez have been good compliments for him in the forecourt and the backcourt. They do have depth concerns, in my opinion, but that's going to be down the road when April and May come around. But for now, I mean, they're playing exceptional basketball. It's going to be interesting. They do have Atlanta twice, obviously the Cavs twice, and Portland all within this month. So it's going to be a good litmus test for them. But as if we stay in today, I'm going to take the Bucks as number 1.
All right, Drew, you got number 1.
Yeah, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. It is. It's they're the best team in basketball right now. They're the only undefeated team, as he said. Another little tidbit here that I found borderline unbelievable. They have outscored their opponents in 12 of the last 14 quarters that they've played, they score more points than their opponent. That's hard to do. You get like backups in games and stuff when you start doing that, and they still. It's really impressive. They defend the three as well as anybody. I think that's been a bit of a weakness for them in the past. But opponents are only attempting 34% of their shots from beyond the arc. The average is 40% for the rest of the teams in basketball. They are really trying to make an effort to take that shot away, and then they let Giannis just erase anything around the rim. I think, to Eric's point, yeah, they might run into to some depth concerns later, but right now they're playing as good as anybody. Brooke Lopez, that's Robin Lopez's brother. Yes, we'll refer to the superior Lopez, that being Robin, of course. He's playing pretty well for them, and right now they're playing great. And after 6-0, their next three games: Detroit, Minnesota, OKC. I mean, Minnesota maybe, but I could see this team starting out 9-0 before they run into some of those harder matchups here throughout the rest of November.
Sounds impressive, but I've got the Cavs at 1. We will
Yes.
watch them. Big games, Celtics, Lakers. Cavs have been super exciting, so we'll keep watching.